Will you name the principles which are most commonly used by those who apply the principle of imagination?
Well, that depends somewhat on the nature of the application that is to be made of imagination and the person making it. But generally speaking, the following are the principles which are more often allied with imagination. A. Definiteness of purpose, based on an obsessional desire growing out of one or more of the 9 basic motives. See list of the 9 basic motives in Chapter 2. The motive which more commonly serves to stimulate the imagination is that of a desire for financial gain. The profit motive has been without a doubt the greatest inspiration to the men who have developed industrial America. B. The mastermind principle, through which men go into a huddle and frankly exchange thoughts with the object of solving business or professional problems, is also a great stimulation of the imagination. It was this principle, more than all others, through which the steel industry, of which I was the founder, became prosperous. The so-called round table is a great institution. When men sit down and begin to pool their ideas in a spirit of harmony and oneness of purpose, they soon find a solution to most of the problems that confront them, no matter what business they may be engaged in or what may be the nature of their problems. C. Going the extra mile comes in prominently for its share of credit as a stimulant to the imagination. When a man makes it a habit to do more than he is paid for, he generally begins to draw upon his imagination for new sources through which to render this sort of service. This fact alone would be sufficient compensation for going the extra mile, even if there were not still greater benefits available. D. Applied faith is a definite source of stimulation of the imagination. Moreover, it is an essential in connection with the stimulation and application of creative imagination. Men with little or no faith will never receive the benefits of creative imagination. E. Organized individual endeavor depends directly upon the application of imagination for its effectiveness, as all forms of definite planning are carried on through imagination. There are many other sources of stimulation of the imagination, but these 5 are on the must list. Fear sometimes stimulates the imagination, while of course at other times it paralyzes the imagination. When a man is in great danger, his imagination often performs seemingly superhuman feats, especially when self-preservation is the motive. Failure and temporary defeat sometimes have the effect of stirring one's imagination, although more often they have the opposite effect. The question method, which master salesmen often resort to, has the effect of arousing the imagination and putting it to work, and the reason for this is obvious. By asking questions, the salesman forces his prospective buyer to think. Moreover, he chooses the line of thought to be engaged in by the adroitness of his questions. Curiosity, growing out of death and the uncertainty of life and the unknown and perhaps unknowable facts of immortality, has been the chief source of inspiration out of which all the religions have grown. Self-expression, through speaking and writing, is a never-ending source of stimulation of imagination, as are many other forms of action. The very moment a man begins to organize his thoughts for the purpose of expression, whether through words or deeds, he starts his imagination to work. For this reason, children should be encouraged to give free expression to their thoughts, as this develops imagination early in life. Hunger is a universal source of inspiration of imagination. When a man needs food, his imagination goes to work automatically, without any form of urge. In the lower order of life, instinct goes to work in the face of hunger, and I have known of ingenious applications of instinct under such an urge. Thus we see that wherever we touch life, whether in man or the lower orders of organic life, imagination and instinct may be found as essential parts of the individual's working equipment. Concentration of attention on a definite problem or object tends to put the imagination to work immediately. Witness, for example, the astounding achievements of Dr. Elmer R. Gates, who created hundreds of useful inventions by sitting for ideas. The same principle was used by Thomas A. Edison and Dr. Alexander Graham Bell. By fixing their minds on definite objectives, through definiteness of purpose, they put creative imagination to work with far-reaching results. Scientists, and sometimes laymen, put their imaginations to work by setting up hypotheses of facts or ideas which, for the time being, they assume to exist. Scientific research and experiment would hardly be practical if hypothetical cases were not utilized, as often the facts for which they are searching are entirely unknown. Lawyers and trial judges often resort to the use of hypothesis in order to establish facts that cannot be uncovered through any other source. The chemists and the physicists resort to the same method when searching for unknown facts, and so does the doctor when other means of diagnosis of disease fail him. Detectives often work entirely through the aid of hypothesis in the solution of crime,